Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk a little bit about approach. So meaning when you approach a woman in public. There are three critical points to consider here. But before I get into those, for some of us, when we see a girl we want to talk to, that sets off a moment of panic. Like I talked about in a previous video, that it's that fear of rejection and, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, she probably wouldn't be interested. And you've got this chorus of negativity and self-doubt. For some of us, maybe you don't. If not, that's awesome. But there's this argument going on of, do I approach? Do I not approach? Does she see me? Does she look like she, might like me? And so while this is going on, you may miss the moment. She may leave the store, or now she's too far down the sidewalk, or, she's getting in her car, and then it's just really creepy to approach her once she's closed the door in her car. And yeah, just, you don't want to do that. So, there are three critical points to consider. As I mentioned, I have an approach hack that is called 60 seconds or less. Meaning, when I see a girl that I want to talk to, I approach her within the first 60 seconds. Because women don't like if you are kind of lurking around, looking at her. She catches you looking at her a couple times. Maybe she feels like she's being followed in the grocery store, or the library, where wherever you are, wherever you see her, they find it off-putting and creepy. But if you see her and you walk straight up to her and just start talking, then that expresses confidence and friendliness. If you come off as a social person and someone who likes to interact with other people, so it's really healthy. And it's a good rule because it challenges yourself. It just happens so fast when you see someone. I can tell you this from experience. And, I see her, and then I know that 60, 59, 58, 57, so I'm like, just start walking. And yeah, and it works. And of course, while I'm walking over, I'm looking for a wedding ring, and, I'm, of course, looking for, reasons that it may be inappropriate for me to approach her. But if I haven't found any by the time I get to her, then I just start talking. And then there's an old sales adage, and I've kind of mentioned it in an earlier video, that the more no's you collect, you are closer to a yes. So I used to visualize it as I'm driving around a rickety old truck. And if I collect a no, it's a red flag, and I just toss it in the bed of the truck. And my goal is to fill up my truck with red flags, because I know that the more that red flags I collect, I'm going to get a yes. I'm going to get a green flag. I may have already mentioned this story, but I don't remember if it was just from taking the notes or I actually told the story, but it's a quick story. It's about Ross Perot, who recently passed away in July 2019. And, he was a multi-billionaire businessman in Texas who can be credited with saving Apple. Steve Jobs actually went down to him to get an angel investment in his company Next when Steve Jobs was fired from Apple. He went and built the company that he knew Apple needed its OS to be able to continue. I mean, obviously the guy's brilliant. So to get the money, not only the OS, but the team. So he went and built what Apple needed so he could sell that company back to Apple, and then become, the CEO of Apple again. But he went down to Ross Perot in Texas, and Ross Perot funded that company. So anyway, cut back to when Ross Perot was a salesman at IBM in the 1960s. He wanted to break out and start his own data company, so he did. It's a company called EDS. He started in 1962. And then he started approaching large companies to handle their data. He was told no 77 times in a row. Can you imagine that? But he kept going. He's got that fiery energy. So he was told no 77 times before he got his first yes. So he had to get through those 77 red flags to get the green one. And then 6 years later, he took the company public. It opened at $16 a share, and within days it was trading at $160 a share. So it made 10x profit, or 10x gains within a few days. So he became a billionaire. So the interesting question to consider is, what if he had given up at no number 60, right? What if he was just being told no on a daily basis for 2 months? He got a no from a major corporation once a day for 2 months, and he hit 60, and he goes home to his wife and he's like, I'm just not cut out for this. No one wants my product. No one's interesting. I keep getting rejected. And not knowing that he was only 17 or really 18 asks to the yes, which would begin this, this giant story of and journey to him becoming a multi-billionaire. So, yeah. So collect the no's. I mean, almost be joyful if she rejects you, right? Because again, that will get you closer to the one who won't reject you. And by the way, you'll get better at approach and openers and stuff like that. All right, so those are the first two. So 60 seconds or less approach, and then the more no's you collect, the closer you are to the yes. The third critical point to consider here is, if you don't take any action, if you leave without her number, then you leave with what you came with, which is nothing, right? So just walk up and start talking, and it sort of doesn't matter if you don't know what you're going to say or not. I find that in that excited panic of approaching someone, and she'll notice, she may notice you approaching her, you may just say hello and introduce yourself, and just start a conversation. I'm going to get deeper into openers in the next video or two, but I just wanted for this video to mention these 3 critical points. I would write them down on a piece of paper, or print out the notes from this video and keep it in your pocket, and have it serve as a reminder to you that well, first of all, the underlying theme is you are worth having someone in your life. So walk up with that confidence, like you are worth complimenting someone else's life, and you deserve that. You deserve to have a lifelong partner. So know that first, but then when the chorus of argument of negativity starts in your mind, just because it's an exciting, like, oh, I've got 60 seconds. Eric says I gotta walk up to her, but what if? So just start walking, man. Just walk right towards her. Anyway, all right. This is all exciting stuff. I love teaching this stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.